We're playing not for broadcast. Episode 2 was released, so let's continue. There was advice to begin a new game because they add a new mechanic of interference or something like this, but we will learn it hard way in the middle of the game. So let's see what it will be. There's three broadcasts. Day 154, A Rude Awakening. Oh, the rhythmic dipping of the heart monitor brings you slowly back to consciousness. Opening your eyes, you're greeted by a semicircle of concerned faces. Oh, a family. By your side, a reassuringly familiar sight in these new surroundings. You blink a few times to clear the sleep from your eyes and bring everyone into focus. Looking up, Sam's face is a mixture of frustration and concern. Things haven't been great between you two lately, and although they are clearly worried about you, the looks you're getting are still sore. You reach out to Sam and take their hand. Yeah, let's go. Let's reach it. The worry lines on Sam's forehead fade and they smile as they gratefully take your hand. You feel the tension of the past few months start to ease. You've both got enough to be anxious about without being at each other's throats. With a final smile at them, you turn to the rest of your family. Just as you feel Susie's absence, you notice Charlie fidgeting, clearly trying to not to look worried. As soon as you turn to look at him, you can see Charlie tense up. He's clearly battling hard to stay mad at you. You look expectantly at him, but he refuses to meet your gaze. What? Well, if he won't make an effort, why should you? No. Hey, I'm gonna be fine. We'll be fine again before you know it. Charlie looks at you and grins, one of those infectious smiles that spreads round the room. It's always good to have him in your corner. Your smile fades as you notice your mother, staring listlessly out the window. Despite all of your past efforts, she's not been doing well lately. Are you okay, Mom? Your mother starts your call clearly shocking her out of her reverie. She turns to you and smiles, and you're grateful to see the increasingly rare recognition in her eyes. Yes, dear, of course. How are you feeling? You smile warmly and nod, but before you can respond, a doctor bustles in and ushers everyone out. She asks you for what feels like the 100th time how you're feeling. Surprisingly well, all things considered. Excellent. There's no sign of any real damage, just a bit of a shock to the old system. Pardon the pun. She smiles. Not that we recommend you to do anything like that again. Of course, after a couple of days rest at home, you should feel right as rain. She turns to leave but stops at the door. Oh, and private room and care. The doctor gestures to your room, which you now notice looks rather expensive. Has all been paid for by a Mr. Bozeman. He left those flowers and said not to worry and to take the rest of the week off. He'll see you Monday, apparently. Seemed like the least he could do. A Bozeman? I forget already. Whoa. Monday! A burden to bear? Okay, you come home from a particularly late shift to find the kitchen light still on, which isn't normally a good sign. Everyone's usually in bed by now. Softly opening the kitchen door, you find Sam sat at the table. Bills and papers are strewn in front of them, as well as what looks to be their second pack of biscuits. They give you a quick kiss as you take a seat next to them. Sam frowns and goes back to the bill they're holding. Hey, sweetheart, just look at the numbers again. They look to the door to the pantry, now converted into your mother's bedroom. We've been doing our best, but I think Cassandra really needs a nurse to look after her now. Suddenly the bills are all you can see. Ooh. I've been staring at the numbers all night, tears in their eyes. Sam takes your hand. There's just no way we can afford it. I'm so sorry. The kitchen table swims before you. Sam stands up and pulls you into a firm embrace, but all you can think of is your mother and how you can't afford to help her. What would your dad be thinking now? Is this the utopia Advance promised? You stare at the door to your mother's makeshift room. Tomorrow you'll need to tell the kids, and then book an appointment at the transition center. What else could you have done? Okay, interesting. So, there is something like wealth in the new system of the game. Well, we'll see. You're watching TV with Sam when Charlie comes home for the evening. School finished a while ago, but he's been home late more and more recently. You both shrug and finish your episode of Me, My Dalmatians, and I. After the dance, you said goodnight to Sam. You've got an early start in the morning. At the top of the stairs, on your way to bed, you notice a new poster on Charlie's door. It's homemade, but the image is distinct, a fish, seemingly in orange spray paint on a black background. The now well-known symbol of disrupt. It seems those friends of his are an interesting bunch. What, you didn't say anything about it? A letter home. Sam's out with work tonight, and Charlie's staying at friends. The house is yours. You order a takeaway, have a couple of drinks, and decide to relax in front of the TV. Not a great selection tonight, but surely something to watch. You feel like a love comedy it is. Sam's not here, but you can still watch a horror without them. You just want to switch off, action thriller is the one. Sam isn't a fan of historical drama, so you make the most of them being away. Historical dramas, you like it? I mean, we're playing for us, right? I don't know, horror might be good. Sam's not here, but you can still watch a horror without them. Like a laugh. Okay, let's go with historical dramas. I'm curious what it will be. Genghis Khan wasn't even really something you were interested in, but the drama's not half bad. You even learn a few things, like the fact his real name was Temujin. Who knew? History. When it's over, you flick through the channels for something else to watch, but a glint under the coffee table distracts you. You reach down to retrieve the mysterious device, remembering Sam's note as you do. Hey sweetheart, Charlie lost you this present. Would you mind looking for it tonight? Oh. As you hold it closer, you're surprised to find the gift's actually an engraved letter for Chippy. She claims the nickname's affectionate, but Charlie still scolds every time she says it. You're not sure Sam would approve. The accompanying note from Susie explains, Kyrgyzstan has a long tradition of glorifying the art of starting fires. Thought you'd like it. Don't do anything stupid, Suze. Hopefully it's just a souvenir and not a new pastime he's picked up. Or about to pick up. It's nice that she thought of him. Yeah. Day 232. Okay, we begin our workday. I hope so. Whew. Let's see if we remember anything about it. We can choose between cameras by numbers. Okay, censor by space. Okay, there must be something new. We will see what it will be. The silence. Ooh. Okay, what do we have here? Up next, national nightly news. At 6:30, we have a minute. Can we? I want to. Hey! Where's the sound? No signal. Speakers.
Dinner next week.
Okay. Whew. Finally. We have it.
Jenny.
I'm sorry, Kath, you're gonna have to leave.
At 11:30, it's a double bill for popular transatlantic comedy.
No.
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded
10
me.
seconds,
I thought we were
everybody.
all part of a team these days.
Okay. Okay. 10 seconds.
Stop being so
Advance
hard. Do
entitlements.
your job.
You'll
4,
have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me.
Meghan and all the team at the National.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
So how do you feel about the sanctions?
I actually think that with advance in charge we'll be fine. Of course, the rest of the world will want us to fail.
Responsibility.
They're billionaires next.
Okay.
But I trust Julia and
did it.
Peter. I trust Julia and Peter.
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff. Thanks, Patrick.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically
Oh.
elected government with massive popular support.
Oh, a new
We
one.
do not recognise these sanctions. And we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community. By showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive.
Okay.
This country is entirely self-sufficient.
Okay, now we understand what's
We are a
happening.
team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side.
Okay. Everything's perfect. Whew. That was something.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
I was wondering if you could tell me what you think of the government.
What? That shower of iridescent pricks, punishing success and rewarding laziness? They're taking this country down the bloody Swanee. And it's not just
Okay.
me that thinks so. My wife Iris, she agreed.
Over to you, fellas. Global mega corporation Remington's Fist today announced that trials have successfully completed on their groundbreaking male contraceptive product, Responsibility.
How do we
The drug
use
has been
this one?
passed by the government for general release, but the small print warns that, in rare cases, side effects can include blurred vision, enlarged genitalia, and increased risk of stroke. No double entendre intended.
But what do you, the public, think of Sophia Remington's latest venture?
Bad.
Would you take the male contraceptive pill?
No, mate. Her body, her baby, her problem.
How progressive of you.
Yeah.
Nothing.
A momentary lapse of reason. Commuters across the capital found themselves somewhat bemused by the latest stunt by controversial protest group Disrupt.
In a baffling start to the day, commuters found performers outside every major station, all dressed and posed identically. Whether we're supposed to be amused or intimidated is anybody's guess, Jeremy, but most commuters didn't even stop to notice.
Well, as long as it's not some grand contemporary dance, it's probably harmless.
But how do we all feel about Disrupt and their eclectic tactics?
Okay. The
Robin
positive.
found out.
We will use a positive one.
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Oh, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Oh, Iris doesn't speak on mine, but we're pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we, love? Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the yoinks for our freedom. And what could possibly be wrong with that?
Yeah.
Do you need me to get you some help?
Bubbling up, Intrepid scientist Dr. David
Blink
Hall
twice
and Dr.
if you need
Ingrid
help.
Sforsborg and Hawkinsford today sent a blueprint of the escape craft in which they hope to finally leave Dante's taint.
With expert opinions of the plan running the gamut from optimistically engineered to that looks like something my granddad made in his shed, it sounds like the unfortunate...
Let's go with a bad. Oh no, let's go with
So what should
plain.
we think about the escape plan? Patrick Bradley
Something
again.
in the middle. Of course.
Don't worry, they're going to cut all this, aren't they? It's disgusting. Right. Oh, Jesus, wept. Have you thought about quitting smoking?
Yeah.
Right. No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
The trapped scientists.
Oh, yeah, right.
The trapped scientists. Brilliant.
Don't really care.
I am not a number. Applications finally open today for the new Advanced Team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary.
Let's go with bad.
They will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks, and, rightfully, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge.
Or with good.
It all seems too good to be true.
Let's go
Well,
with
you've always
good.
been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Yeah.
Team membership cards. Oh, yeah, fantastic. I'm applying today. I mean, why wouldn't you? What are these protesters doing that they don't want us to know who their names are? Besides, have you seen the savings you can get? I'm getting one for the little one as well. Oh, how adorable. Yeah. Gonna be a proper little team member, aren't you? Yes. He smiled. He smiles.
And finally tonight, back of the net, popular sports personality Johnny Hamsleeves and his fiancée Tiffany Lamour was spotted out today doing a little shopping for what many are already calling the greatest wedding ever.
Oh.
We can only assume that Tiffany's latest show, My
Yeah,
Teenage
okay,
Secretions,
bad.
was sold better than expected, as by the looks of things, the whole affair's about to become more expensive than Lil C's shoe collection.
I don't know who that is.
But what should your opinion be of this extravagant display of wealth?
Disgusting.
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of thespians set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National
Nightly
Nightly
News.
Okay. We're going here. Okay, back. We're here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where are you going? We're here. Don't go anywhere. Is it like it's stretching, you know? It's just stretching.
First tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel, and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight, we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation. For Advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lamfordshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
Oh, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining us is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf,
Great
are like
pleasure.
the strongest guard at labor camp who wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay. Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Advance is like man who thinks he have big career in movies land, when actually he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at mirror and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Svenland, then. We have like some of the cleanest mental health facilities in the continent, yeah.
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry,
Swinland.
Have your surname?
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here, yeah.
Minister?
It's just Björk, yeah.
Right,
Björk.
Björk. Your country spoke in favour of advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the fight.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole, voting, yeah? But it's actually the Festival of Feuerlands here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So, we all had to work our grandparents' linear whilst the vote was happening, and that's a really, really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like sissy man. You have this expression, sissy man. It's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah,
Oh,
because...
stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
Peter, you're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Oh, could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. They can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Svenland, we have, serious animal welfare legislation. And, my friend Helga, she got arrested, yeah, for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her fuel thing. I mean, in English, jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. She was a right cracker, too. I wonder what became of her.
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
Human interest, Jeremy. The real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching, Jan, give us a call. Yeah. Let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Crash, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vent. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Svenland,
What's his problem?
All that restricted monogamy stuff here. We're kind of flawed, actually.
Okay, well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and
possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Bjerk?
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid, really arguing about outdated divisive concepts like money. In Svenland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Votovich.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant mutant hairy bear. When really he just standing in field
holding his tiny penis. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way.
Of course.
Be ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words there.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
After these messages.
We'll be back.
1 minute back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for me.
She's out of your league, mate.
What's this?
Thank you for the correction.
Well, you have to be more careful.
It's all part of his long-term plan to get fired live on the news at 6 in front of the nation.
Can someone warn him it's going a little too well?
This is important. New government censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring.
What?
Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
What? What blue? What? What wave form? Okay, we will lose this part apparently.
Are you still meant to bow to foreign royalty?
What?
Okay, there's a 3. They're both there. There.
What? Megan.
This is Jeremy. He'll be interviewing you.
Yo, thanks for having me on the show, man.
It's quite alright.
Yo, just a quick one. You're not going to ask me about the chimp, are you?
Live in 10 seconds.
Because he put that get up on himself. Just saying.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets.
Why
and
did...
the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus.
What?
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honor to be here on this show, the news. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I'd
Yeah,
try
yeah.
not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man.
Whoa.
You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale.
Okay.
What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Well, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just, it's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem.
What?
Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Oh.
Well, you know, they stole from us.
Blue
They're taking
one.
our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be
course.
for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of
Or
like...
maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh, no. I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is
Approved.
Yeah. You love it?
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay all. You're gonna pay back.
Okay.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the elation from your participation. Still 2 leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes, I don't need your freaky team. And I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams.
Whoa!
So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise of the crest of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to stone a country with a motherfucking pitchfork.
Okay. No.
So this is for the snub ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks that feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley, the ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty, the ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation, the ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise of the crest of the waves, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to stone a puzzle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the
Okay.
Set a fire in the building, let him feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, no squilling bet letters, and burn them on the powers of advances fucking letters. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to stone a castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team, and advance his little chances aren't as harmless as it seems, cause they're stale and corrupt, then your anger erupt, then your hearts and your minds and your fists.
Okay, I'm censoring him too much. That's interesting.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your notes.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this is absolutely ridiculous.
Here at
Okay.
National Lightning News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. We will never censor. Back to you, Megan.
Interesting.
Dangerous language.
They say this to me.
Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
That's the ads.
Ooh.
Jenny, this is fucking outrageous.
Thank you so much. If you could just come with me.
No, this is ridiculous. Who do I complain to?
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you to
trust
leave
me.
it.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand.
Okay.
Unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Can I see it? Okay. Ooh, E. E.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR. Swap in a new tape. Last ad break.
You told me you're on the pill.
Not all contraception is 100% reliable.
Okay, advances. Let's go with this one.
5 dates. I don't even know you, Julie.
Janet.
Marriage and children seem to be a pretty big decision to make in a wine bar, Janet.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, we begin a new part.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
This is Jeremy. You remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris. And this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa, please.
You're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Okay, let's try not to censor a blue one anymore.
We're going live in 10 seconds. Opening on camera 1.
Because children
Okay.
by accident. And let's face it, condoms.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. And no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Rayton, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, yeah, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation?
Okay.
How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
What did you say?
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It's like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around...
Okay, it's almost ready.
It mixes scenes from my life, as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son.
What?
You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells! Demon! Back to the hells!
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show? What is it that you
Good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder of that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences.
Oops.
Of Tommy's time
Yikes.
in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
Let's see. Ooh.
You'll never take the sacred path!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Oh, what's this? Oh.
You do this every night.
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning and my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this?
I did it again.
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt you'll have taken our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Sports boy.
Oh.
Yeah. Broadcast complete. C. Okay, so we end for... Oh, what's happening with her? Shine.
Contains an organic blend of ingredients that penetrate deep into your hair, breaking down citrulline and glycogen for hair that looks and feels healthier. Acid Gastrique nourishes from root to tip for 8 times the strength of other brands. 6 out of 10 shampoo is recommended.
I thought that it's... Okay. Acid. Acid. It's It's an acid. What?
Rapid repair and protect. Deep nourishing, intensely strengthening.
Oh, okay, let's end it. Sequence CEC. Broadcast grade D. Not bad. More info. Oh, now we can see it that way. That's very interesting. Okay, all offensive words were censored. More interference than news. An accidentally poor edit. Sloppily timed commercial. Yeah, Advance concerned about language. Okay, we will not censor any of blue things anymore. I don't know. We will end it here, I think. I hope you enjoy it. Smash like if you did, leave your comments, and subscribe. See you in the next videos. Bye!